Much like our souls, Paul, E3 is dead on the inside.
It will be back like a zombie.
Somebody photoshopped the LA Convention Center with a Spirit Halloween sign on it, and that was perfect.
I just rewatched the movie Starship Troopers, right? That kind of 90s Paul Verhoeven. Yeah, excellent movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a scene where the kids who were in high school are graduating, and now they're all going off to the military because, it's this neo-fascist thing.
Yep.
And that place where they are is the LA Convention Center, the entryway with that, roof that was used in the wallpapers and stuff. And I was like, it's weird when you see a place like, you're like, I know that place.
Yeah.
Like, that's just...
This isn't the future.
The LA Convention Center. Yeah, exactly. Well, it is futuristic looking.
It is. So anyways, people who are bummed about that probably shouldn't have been. I mean, it's kind of writing on the wall for a couple of years, I think.
So, yeah, I was curious. I'm curious about this. Do you think it was killed by the pandemic, or do you think that this was...
I think the pandemic was the death blow, because Sony pulled out.
Sony had pulled
out a couple years ago. And Microsoft, while they were there, they were always kind of like their own separate thing.
Yep, that's right. They did that thing over in the Nokia Theater, whatever that's called now. Except kind of next to it, but not
the Lumia Inn.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I see a Lumia at the end of the tunnel.
Stay away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go to the light. Anyway, yeah. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Apple pulled out of CES a million years ago.
I mean, so did Microsoft.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, let's give up the pretense that we give a crap about consumer.
Yeah, I mean, that's
just not even going to pretend.
Yeah.
What do we got to show off this? I say.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you got a garbage can with a dehumidifier and an air cleaner in it. CES is the perfect place to display that.
Oh, boy. That's true.
Yeah, it really is. So, Paul, you may remember yesterday I vaguely said that there were some changes in the Panos org on the podcast.
I'm very curious.
I don't have all the details, but I believe you remember Michael Fortin, CVP?
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe he retired. And so that was the catalyst for a bunch of the changes that are kind of mucking about.
What was he running? Or is running, or
he was a CVP. It's something at Microsoft. I don't remember exactly, but I mean, anybody who's paid attention to Microsoft, he's been there for like 25 years. Yeah. Like he's been there a long time. So I know I talked to him a couple times throughout his career, my career, whatever, our career, this thing, whatever, covering Microsoft.
Yeah. He's a distinguished engineer. Has been. This was the guy. Okay. He's the deep down guy. He's the. I was like, I know I've interacted with him.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was like, right. So in the post Sinofsky Windows world, when Windows the UI was run by children, we kind of looked to his part of the company to please save us from this because they were doing the back end stuff. So he was heavily involved. Actually, this would have been what's the guy who does this now? John, the guy who always says like, hey, all the updates are going fine. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? They're doing, what's that guy's? John Cable.
Yep.
I think they carted out Michael Fortin for a year or two there just to be like, look, there's adult supervision. Like he was the, so I mean, he would work for Jason Zander, right? Under that part of the company. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm like, this name, I have a positive vibe about this guy.
Yeah.
Although I had talked to him one time, and it was because I was criticizing the pace at which like updates were going out and how they were having all these problems, and they were acting like everything was fine. And he was one of those kind of, like telemetry guys, right? Like, he's like, look, the data shows this and blah, blah, blah. And, oh, that's interesting. So he's been there forever. He's like he probably goes back to NT, I bet.
I bet.
Yeah.
I would bet.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the credible part of the business, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see what kind of plays out, but I believe he's retired.
Yeah,
or stepping out, or announced it, or something along those lines.
His last public post, was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
and it was all the stuff he wrote was about the Windows 10 update experience. That was his thing. Like he was like, like we're taking a quality approach for a complex ecosystem, that kind of thing. And it was probably his first post. It was November 2018. I bet that was right in the wake of the update that killed the Kindle, or the Kindle killed the update, or whatever it was.
Yeah, if you plugged that, no, yeah,
that
if
era,
you plugged
right?
it in,
it would crash Windows, right,
yeah.
or something. Yeah. So anyway, yes. Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
So
okay.
we'll just that's what I've heard. So yeah, we'll see. We got a Windows event next week, the hybrid Windows thing that looks like that's where we'll see the tabs and File Explorer probably coming through smarter.
Yeah, I have
clipboard.
heard from multiple people we should expect new features at this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if Microsoft's actually ever said that, but yeah, this is, if you're interested in Windows, this will be something to pay attention
Yeah, don't tune into Build, tune into this.
Well,
yeah. Sorry, I had to. I had
fair.
to.
Yeah,
I had to. Because if they couldn't have waited. I mean, again, I don't know. Which brings the question of, like, when are these shipping? Are they 22H2 or are they coming?
Right. My expectation, I'm just guessing, I actually don't know anything about this, is that we'll see some small things before October or whenever that thing comes out. But yeah, I think what they want to do is kind of set up a slate of, like, look, this is what we intend. And I think we've only seen some of it so far. Maybe most of it, whatever. But I think we're going to learn some new stuff. That's, again, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
To be clear, I don't know anything. But
which then just makes me more confused. Like, I don't think you're wrong. But then brings the question of, like, what is the one major update per year? Like, what?
Yeah, what does it look like?
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to get that answer next week. Like you said, I mean, one thing going through this history of Windows thing that I've been confronting anew is you can see when the drop off in interest in Windows from Microsoft happens, and it actually happened a long time ago. And then you start going to events like Build and Ignite, I guess. I mean, WinHack kind of didn't happen for a while, but it becomes about the growth business, right? Azure and the Microsoft 365 over time. So yeah, you're right. I mean, what are we going to hear about? What could possibly ship at Build that would be of interest to a Windows developer? MAUI, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say WinUI 3 is it.
Well, WinUI 3, I think, is out, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it was neutered from their initial.
Yeah, I mean, so .NET MAUI is of interest, although, by definition, cross-platform. I mean, and I don't know if anyone's ever tried
that old thing again.
Well,
it's
like
cross-platform.
I mean, a Xamarin Windows app, or a MAUI Windows app is by definition least common denominator kind of thing. So, yes. I mean, I'm interested. I'm going to look at it, but
yeah.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Who knows? Don't trust anything on the internet today, folks. It's the worst day of the year.
I swear to God, I thought we got past this. I thought the pandemic beat this out of everybody.
Nope.
And then I'm reading I think it was my Google feed or something, and there's a story about, like, I swear to God, I don't even know why I clicked on this. It was like a demastered version of, like, classic Star Trek TV series like Discovery and Voyager, I think. And I was like, what the heck does that mean? And it was like, yeah, instead of doing all this AI, new CGI effects, they're actually going to just go back to, like, standard definition. And then it was like, it's going to be released on VHS. And I was like, okay, you have wasted my time. And I was dumb to even look at this story. And now I will never see any of your stories again, because anyone who engages in that kind of stupidity. Here's an idea. If you're funny, if you're actually like a funny person, you think you write good, funny headlines, you don't have to wait for one day a year. It's like Valentine's Day. You love with your wife. Why do you have to wait for February to express that love to this person that you share your life with? Am I ranting again? I'm sorry.
A little bit. The important thing is that you recognized it and you made.
Yeah, no, I'm on the path to recovery, Brad. So, anyway, I'm not a fan of April Fools.
No, it's
not.
I think you're right. I think the pandemic just kind of, like, made us all a little jaded, and we should have just
welcome to my world. It took a pandemic for you to understand me. I don't know why that's funny.